Good morning and welcome to For Fantasy's Sake, the Quad City's first and only fantasy football show. I am your host, Doug Green, and we are going with the run and shoot formation this morning as we have got everybody on board. We've got Deej, we've got Chris, we've got Michael. So we got a full house this morning. Donald, where are we with our DFS sign up that we run every week?
Oh, that would be nice if I knew that, huh?
Yeah, considering it's the very first thing on the sheet.
We are 16 of 20, so we need 4 more entrants.
That's not fair.
What'd you say, Chris?
You made him do math. That's not fair, Doug. That's me.
Yeah, we need 4 more entrants. And we're still waiting. Anybody who played last week, shoot us a screenshot of the standings. Shoot us a screenshot of the standings with your name on there because Michael finished last. So anybody who played actually gets an entry. So anybody who played, because our DFX expert drew last week. So
it was not a good week for anybody.
I was second place the week before.
Well, yeah, that's why so either do bad or do good every week. No in betweens.
That's fair.
No in betweens.
All right. So on for the regular for somebody's got feedback, Christopher.
Why are you looking at me?
This was you last week.
No, it wasn't me.
Whatever. Okay.
Just because of my bad internet connection, Doug, don't assume that it's always my fault.
No, that's not. Well, normally I'd blame DJ, but for the internet connectivity issues, that's you.
All right. It's everybody. It's that he or shall not be named problem. We're not giving them free. We're not giving them free advertisement.
Oh, okay. Anywho, now I ran off Chris. Great. All right, so on to the actual fantasy football side of this. So we've got a bunch of schedule changes this week. So first and foremost, the game that was supposed to be on Thursday night, Baltimore-Pittsburgh, it got moved to Tuesday now because Lamar Jackson has corona. I also saw this morning, because I was attempting to roll out of bed, that Mark Andrews also has been placed on the COVID list, and he will not play. So he came out of your line.
I think I saw this morning the number's officially up to 20. The Ravens have dropped 20 guys on the COVID list.
Dang. That's like 40% of a roster. Active roster. Still doing math.
It's hard.
Yes.
Don't do it, Doug.
I know, especially this early in the morning. All right. So because they moved them to Tuesday, that means there was another game that got moved because of that as well. What game was that? I forget.
Ravens Cowboys were supposed to be played on Thursday, and they got moved to Monday at 5 p.m. our time.
Okay. So then that pushes the Week 13 game as well.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, San Francisco has an edict that they can't
Santa Clara.
Yeah, well, whatever. Wherever they play, said that they're no longer allowed to play in the stadium due to
practice. They can't
gather.
No close contact activities in the city of Santa Clara for the next 3 weeks.
Which is a problem.
But we'll have so much more room for activities. Come on, guys.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what the NFL does about that. I know that they had some safeguards. Obviously, the NFL has been decently proactive outside of actually playing football games and letting Denver not play today. They've been pretty proactive about stuff, and I'm sure they had backup plans for the majority of NFL teams. I know they said that San Francisco will have a NFL facility to practice and play in. So,
yeah, I know that. Oh, I also hear that feedback, but I know that Pittsburgh a week ago, the governor of Pittsburgh or the mayor, one of them, said that the team wouldn't be allowed to practice because they're not using masks. And I know the NFL reached out and they resolved that real quick. So while I would expect that the Santa Clara stuff would be a little bit more diluted, I wouldn't call it yet for not having home games. I mean, NFL has so much swing. I don't know.
Yeah, they could go down the road to Oakland, across the river to Oakland or wherever, because I'm sure that Oakland facility is still available. There's places that they can practice that's not going to be way out of their way. It's not like they're going to have to go to Seattle or Arizona or something to practice there.
I think it just shows how out of control this can get so quickly too, and how well the NBA did it. I think that team or sports organizations as a whole didn't do a good enough job looking at what the NBA did and learning from what they did. Because right now what we're seeing is the Broncos don't have a quarterback. The San Francisco 49ers don't have a home. It's just ridiculous right now. The Ravens don't have a quarterback. They don't have a tight end. And we're still going to forge ahead with these games and just be all like, good luck with that. That's just, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, so my thing is with the Ravens and the Broncos is this seems kind of self-inflicted because they have proof that, like, the Broncos, none of them were wearing masks in meetings, and it's like that's kind of the number one thing that the NFL has been saying. And then a strength and conditioning coach for the Ravens wasn't wearing a mask. I don't think that you can really blame the one guy for an extreme outbreak like this, but come on, just do sensical stuff, do the stuff that the NFL is asking you to do, and things aren't. I mean, if 29 other teams can abide by these rules, then why can't you?
You had to find John Gruden to make sure that he wore a mask on the sideline. Well, that's where we're at.
The Saints are losing a pick now because they weren't wearing masks.
Same thing.
Speaking of the Broncos not having a quarterback, as much as I'd like to make fun of DJ and Locke with this, the other thing that is going on with that, as of this morning, Chris Mortensen is reporting that the Broncos requested to sign quality control coach Rob Calabrese to the roster as a quarterback, but that was denied by the NFL, as that was rooted in a longtime league rule that prevents teams from stashing players on their coaching staff. Calabrese last played for the quarterback for UCF in 2012. So he is undefeated.
So I actually looked that up. The last time he took a snap at quarterback was 2010 because he was he switched to wide receiver. So I actually looked that up this morning, which was kind of crazy. So, yeah. So instead, you now have a guy who hasn't played quarterback in 5 years as opposed to a guy who hasn't played quarterback in 10 years. But, I mean, yeah, shrug emoji.
Well, go ahead, Mike.
I was trying to find the name. It's Kendall Shifton, right? That's who we're expecting to start at QB for the
Kendall Hinton.
Hinton, thank you.
Yeah.
I did see a funny little tweet. I think it was I don't remember who it was from. Sorry about that, but he's thrown a touchdown pass more recently than Taysom Hill, who he's going against on Sunday, which was 2017 compared to 2016. And I mean, that just I can't wait to watch what they're going to do with this because I can't imagine that he's the only one taking snaps under center, and I can't imagine the ball gets passed more than 10 or 11 times.
So I know that Doug last night promised anybody with Lamar and Locke on the same roster gets an entry to our end of the season raffle. I'll tell you what, I'll go one bigger. If you can screenshot me a picture of your roster with Kendall Hinton on your roster, we'll give you an entry to our end of the season. So screenshot it, send it to our Facebook page, our Twitter page, whatever, and we'll give you a raffle entry for that because you're going to have to drop a real guy to pick him up. So I don't think anybody's going to waste that. But if you can do that.
He also only slots at QB only on certain.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. All of them.
All of them? Okay.
Yep. MFL said last night that they were going to add him to the system as a quarterback only. I know ESPN added him almost immediately, but only at quarterback. So
he's a wide receiver on Sleeper for
is he
Sleeper
really?
format. Yeah. So I'm currently spending about $20 in a league that I'm likely to gonna miss the playoffs and just seeing what I got, man. I'm gonna just roll the dice. I'll roll the dice on good old Kendall Hinton.
Chris, go fire him up in the staff league.
I will. DJ, I have a real question for you, and it's going to sound like it's a dig at you, but I really want an answer to it. If, say, Hinton does well, or Royce Freeman does really well as quarterback for the Broncos, does that change your opinion of Drew Lock?
No.
It doesn't? Why?
Because I'm not here for the slander on Drew Lock's name.
I'm not trying to put you down. I want a real opinion as to why it wouldn't change your.
I'm not here for the slander.
DJ is certainly locked in.
But Chris,
Yeah.
I'm always here for the slander, so please.
Yeah, I'm good for the slander.
Since I'm playing the 1-10 team, I know this is going to come back to bite me since the dude has Leonard Fournette and Mike Evans, but he also has George Kittle in his lineup. I'm gonna start Kendall Hinton.
Yeah, I don't want to start Kendall Hinton, DJ, because my wide receivers are good, so I don't want to do that.
I have AJ Brown, Keenan Allen, Julio, and Justin Jefferson.
Nobody cares about your fantasy team.
Yep. I mean, we do.
Not really.
We do for an hour and a half each week.
No, we're only here to say Chiefs, and Randy Moss.
I haven't said anything about Chiefs yet.
I know. We haven't said anything about Randy Moss either, but that's also coming.
That's true. Yeah. So, Taysom Hill, the whole he's not going to play that much, it's not going to matter thing. Where is everybody on that this week? Because it was pretty presumed that we were going to see some Jameis Winston in there, and we did not. So what is everybody's opinion now on this whole Taysom Hill issue?
So I started buying it around the time that they said that the front office was not keen on them starting Taysom Hill. I'm like, all right, well, they're not going to go that far into, say, doing a schism between the head coach and the front office over just trying to fool the other team. So, I mean, Taysom Hill looked decent. And like you said, this is going to be a game where there's a lot of running. And so I would expect to fire him up this week too.
It looked like he was a one-read quarterback, though. That's the part that scared me a little bit, is he was staring down Michael Thomas. And, hey, Michael Thomas owners, you got to love that, because Michael Thomas hasn't looked himself at all this year. So to get him back on track was a good thing. But you wonder about how people are going to actually game plan him now that there is some tape on him. I would expect there to be a little bit of a setback. But once they get past this week is going to be just a free-for-all craziness. Go all you want. No idea what's going to happen.
Well, here's the thing, though, with you saying he's a one read is even if they try to take Michael Thomas away, Alvin Kamara had one target last week, and so then his one read becomes Alvin Kamara. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad guy to have be your only read as well.
You think Hinton's going to have more than one read? He's not.
Yeah. Huh?
Hinton's not going to have more than one read.
No. I agree, but who do you take away if you're New Orleans at the same time? If you're trying to say, okay, he's only going to read once, do you take away Judy? Then he can kind of throw it to Fan. I don't see them throwing the ball more than 10 times. So.
Yeah, third and long is basically they're only going to throw it when they have to throw it.
Yeah.
Doug, we could watch another Geneseo game where they try not to throw the ball for a season.
No, that Suicide Squad stuff.
And last week we saw with Taysom Hill. I mean, his value comes with those rushing attempts. And Sean Payton loves to scheme him some rushing attempts. And, I mean, he only attempted the ball 23 times last week. That's not going to change this week because Denver's not going to put up points.
I mean, I was excited. I was excited to be able to start him in the tight end slot. last week.
Yeah,
You're a bad person.
ESPN is
I would see. Here's the thing, and I know Jordan will have input on this if he's tuned in right now. I was even willing to allow the Taysom Hill owner to use him at tight end this week in our league. I'm playing him, so it didn't.
That's why.
I know I'm playing against him. Like I'm playing against the guy who has Taysom Hill. I wouldn't. I went a whole season only starting Ty Montgomery at wide receiver because he didn't have running back eligibility on our website when I owned him. So
he's listed as the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart. He should be listed as a quarterback on fantasy platforms. I'm very upset with, even though I know ESPN leagues, but I was tweeting madly at ESPN last week. Not happy.
Did anybody else see the tweet about the guy whose 60-some-odd-year-old mom called ESPN yelling at them because their opponent started Taysom Hill in their tight end slot? I'm going to have to find that thread and send it to the chat group because it was hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
All right, so that will take us to the end of our first segment. On the other side of this, we're going to talk. We've got some running backs that we need to discuss, and then we'll get into making fun of DJ's ranks, and then we'll go from there. All right, here we go. Sunday is still the best day at Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill. While your favorite jamokes aren't on the deck talking fantasy football, they're still one of the best places in the Quad Cities for your football viewing pleasure. Their back deck is ready to go for late season football. The sides are up and the heat is on to protect you from Mother Nature, where you can enjoy the Bears, Packers, and any of your favorite out-of-market teams on their 10-foot screen. If outside isn't your thing, you can head into their remodeled area inside bar, watch the NFL Sunday Ticket on their numerous screens, and play their adult video games. I hear they have the loosest slots in the Quad Cities. That's Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill, 1228 30th Street in Rock Island, the non-bubble home of For Fantasy's Sake. We are no longer a PG show, but we're still saying frick at For Fantasy's Sake. Frick's Tap, that is. If the Davenport side is more your style for your football watching pleasure, head to Frick's Tap, 1402 West 3rd Street, where they have 20 beers on tap. Beer isn't your scene? That's okay. They have $3 you-call-its during all of the Sunday football games. Frick's has the NFL Sunday Ticket on all of their 13 TV screens, so don't fret if your team is playing on the West Coast this week. So for Frick's sake, head into Frick's Tap today. All righty. So,
Chris, do you mean you didn't appreciate me throwing myself up there on the screen when Doug was talking?
No, I thought that was great. You looked super, happy to be there at that moment too.
See, I have to bring up the reads to actually see it, so I have no idea what shenanigans are going on. Wow.
Oh no, DJ brought himself up and then he made a face like, "Oh no."
I was like,
see, this is what happens.
Yeah, you let the children run the ship.
Yeah.
Play silly games, Doug. You win silly prizes.
Exactly. Cats away.
like not wearing masks in team meetings and then having the entire quarterback staff come down with the not being able to play.
So, I mean, those are the stories that we know of, though. You got to think, if those are the stories that we know of, there's got to be at least 10 more going on in the building that lead to something like that.
Someone on those teams threw a big Thanksgiving bash. That's what happened. I guarantee it.
Well, Jonathan Taylor, he can't play because his girlfriend went to go see family for Thanksgiving and she got the COVID.
That's all it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, from personal experience, I work in an office and we have 14 people on our team. One person did something wrong and our entire office got it. It's 13 of 14 people. So it's one of those things where some people don't do anything wrong and they can still get it. That's the worst part of this thing, is that you can still try your hardest to not get it and you can get it.
Yeah. Doug, before we jump into the next thing in the chat sheet, I want to bounce back and ask a question. Are you willing to start anybody for the Broncos? Are you willing to start Fant, Judy, Gordon, Lindsey, anybody?
Under no circumstances am I starting a single. I could see in the deepest, you might be forced to start someone, and
I think-
that someone would be Kendall Shifton, maybe, if he's wide receiver eligible.
I think the take
or
Doug
Hinton.
to have is correct.
You know who I would start this week?
Noah Fant.
Shout out to Linda. I would start the kicker. That's
think they're
the
gonna
only
get
player I would start.
I would be willing to start Fant.
I just don't think there's enough volume. I don't even, let alone if he can get him the ball.
Yeah, but tight end's a wasteland. So
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Who are they starting at running back right now? Is it Gordon or
Gordon.
Did they? Okay, is it only Gordon or
No,
is
Lindsey will get.
Lindsey healthy enough? Okay,
Yeah, Lindsey will get some touches.
so they're still going to split carries, so you can't even depend on that to get you like a decent number.
No.
Yeah.
And then the defense will be stacked against it. So
Yeah, it's a
I'm
very
not
good
starting
defense.
Melvin.
yeah, that's a hands-off situation.
Well, the Saints defense has just really rallied like the last 4 weeks where they've put up like 4 really great performances, double digits. Before that, it was kind of like a middle of the road defense. They were actually on the free agent market a couple of weeks ago when I picked them up because I was like, well, they have Lattimore. They have a lot of players that can make plays for them. Why not give this a shot? And I had a defense on a bye. I'm glad I got them now because they've got this matchup this week that's going to be huge. And they also have a good schedule the rest of the way, too. So if you're looking for a defense that might still be lingering around out there, the Saints have gone from middle of the road to top 5 defense.
Yeah.
All right, Deej, let's go right into your ranks.
All right.
Terrible, bad, good, okay. I don't know. No, yes, no. Okay, that's my evaluation.
So I will say before you tear apart my quarterback rankings, these are guys who are starting in the NFL this week: Mike Glennon, Brandon Allen, Kendall Hinton, Nick Mullins, Taysom Hill, Mitch Trubisky, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Robert Griffin III.
Sorry, I just, my eyes glazed over and I threw up in my brain. I don't know what you're talking about.
We might get to see some Jalen Hurts too.
Yeah,
And Jalen Hurts, yes.
I would be crazy enough to start RG3 over Cam.
Interesting.
Ooh. Against Pittsburgh? I'm not pulling that. No way.
Yeah, I guess that's
The last couple times we saw RG3, it was not RG3 anymore. I mean, even like the shell of RG3, I would give it a run, but I don't know what he can do at this point.
At this point, isn't Cam Newton the shell of Cam Newton?
A little bit, but he has a good coach that can take advantage of what he can do. At least you know when he gets around the goal line that he's going to get that goal line run to probably get in the end zone. And that's what he's great at. So they're going to maximize what he can do. I don't know that they can really – I think RG3 is on the roster just because they think that they can tailor the playbook to make him as close to Lamar as possible, but I don't think that anybody can be Lamar.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. This list makes me sad, DJ. Get it off. Get it off.
Yeah. Goff should be higher.
Kirk Cousins is having a decent year. Why did you fade him below these guys that shouldn't be quarterbacks?
The only guy that I faded below him is Jalen Hurts.
Well, and Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that split's going to be, to be honest. I'd just be hands off the entire way.
I agree. I don't know. I tend to agree there.
So I missed it. Why is it they're going to the Wentz Hurts kind of a shuffle? Is it because there's an injury for Wentz, or is it because of the performance that he's had so far this year?
Wentz has more turnovers than like 5 teams in the NFL.
Yeah, he's been Bantha Poodoo.
He's been what?
Star Wars. Bantha Poodoo.
Yeah,
well,
I don't understand.
He's also
okay, and that's all for Michael.
Around like 20 points. ESPN always projects Wentz around like 20 points, so I don't really know why they would. I don't know. I think the potential is there. It's just not. I think you're blaming a lot on one guy for a team's failing. That offensive line is terrible, maybe one of the worst in the league, and there's still no wide receivers there.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone wanted to talk about Travis Fulgham, but he's not that guy yet.
I mean, that is the nature of the job at quarterback. See Chicago.
I mean, I've always
think that a lot of that falls more on the coach than it does the quarterbacks.
Yes, I know. We've been over it. Go ahead, Mike.
I've always said with Carson Wentz, I've always thought it was a bit of a mental thing. I mean, I think he's always, ever since that 2017 year, I think he kind of lacked confidence. Coming back from the ACL, then he had to deal with the Foles talk, and then people say, "Oh, we want Foles in," and then Foles finally left. He might have had the team, and then they go out and draft Jalen Hurts with a second-round pick. And I don't think he ever felt, between the circumstances and between the fans just turning on him, I think it's all mental with Carson Wentz. It was really interesting. It was on Thursday or Friday, I forget. The Athletic beat reporter for who covers the Eagles really pressed Doug Peterson, and he asked him, "Listen, who's going to start on Monday?" Doug Peterson gave this long response, and basically was like, it was like a denial, and then said, and then pressed again and again, and eventually concluded that, yeah, Wentz is going to be our starter. And then comes out a few days later, we're going to work Hurts in. It's just, I don't know what this split's going to be. I think we are going to see a bit of a second half. If Carson Wentz isn't lights out in the first half, I think we're going to see Jalen Hurts in that second half.
I think it'll be the other way around. I honestly think Jalen Hurts will start.
Really? Why?
He saw reportedly saw all the first team snaps this week.
Okay.
That's definitely possible. Yeah. It's just exactly why I'm just not going to touch it.
Yeah. It's a scary situation, especially if you're like me, who has Wentz in a keeper league, because I had him during the 2017 season. You think, oh, well, I got a lock for a long time. I don't have to worry about that position. Now you're back to wondering if I need to trade for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 2 of my 3 dynasties, I have Carson Wentz under the same exact philosophy, so I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right, roll the running backs. Yes, I guess. Yes. Should be higher.
Who should be higher?
Chubb, but that's just personal bias.
Yeah.
Sure. No. Yeah, I guess I can live with all that.
Do you want Chris Carson that high when he's spent 4 weeks on the shelf?
Yeah, I just think that if he's been to the where he was questionable and a late scratch the last couple of weeks, so I don't think they would even put him out there if he wasn't ready to go.
I'd be a little bit worried about CEH against Tampa. That defensive front is still a really good unit, and CEH has been up and down with snaps right now.
So the big thing for me with him is he's been very involved in running routes, and Tampa Bay has not been very good coverage out of their linebackers. So if you look at what's kind of beaten them passing game wise, it's been when their linebackers have to cover the running backs and then guys out of the slot. So I mean, I'm pretty high on Chiefs players this week. Chiefs. What's up?
Why hasn't people, English me speak, why haven't people come after James Robinson more when there's no quarterback on that team? He continues to put up solid numbers, and it's not great, but he's still getting numbers. Why aren't people trying to just shut him down completely?
I was telling that I texted Doug that last week, is they were just pounding him to death. Like they just every first down, second down, he was definitely getting the ball. And I have no idea, that's happening. And sometimes even on third down, they're just like, all right, well, James Robinson, we're cool. And I just don't know how maybe he's just that guy. Like maybe he's just one of those guys that I can run through 11 guys in the box. Who knows? And maybe that's why, maybe the 8 guys in the box is why he's not getting these big games, but he's still getting these consistent numbers.
I think that you should really buy in on him because he's getting 3 or 4 yards a carry when there are 8 guys in the box right now. So if he ends up with a real quarterback, if they end up high enough to get somebody like, I can't remember his name, Trey whatever from
Trey
North Dakota
Lance.
State. Yeah, Trey Lance. If they get Trey Lance or somebody who's a real quarterback in there, then that could be a team that's on the rise real quick.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one
Page
in
two
that role.
Great. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Michael.
We got the late notification that Kalen Ballage is not going to play. So
You keep making me change my lineup, DJ. Stop it.
sorry. I'm also big on these Tampa Bay running backs for the same kind of reason. Chiefs linebackers not very good. So
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs. Mostert's coming back. Obviously, Edwards in there with no Dobbins or Ingram. Brian Hill for Gurley.
Mostert's that name. You're comfortable playing him right off the bat. Like Mostert's been great whenever he's played, but that's a tough matchup right off the shelf.
They don't really have any other option, and then he's been productive in the passing game when he's been able to play, and they're gonna want to pass the ball off to the running backs. One with Mullins playing, and two with the really good secondary that the Rams have.
So you think Mostert's going to catch passes though? Because I feel like that hasn't been his role. I mean, they don't really have a whole lot of other options at running back. True. Yeah, we'll see. Jeff Wilson also came off the IR and should be active as well. Yeah, that would be. I wonder where he'll factor in. He's the least talented of the bunch, and it kind of bothers me that he's on the field, but it's Shanahan, so
for sure
he gets goal line touches for whatever reason. It doesn't make any sense at all.
It bothers me so much.
How's Gio's concussion?
I think they expect Gio to play. Last I saw, he is coming to the game questionable, but I think they expect he's going to be fired up. I would be ready for some Samaje P. Ryan, but
we got a bit of a breaking news here. Julio Jones is inactive.
Julio Jones is inactive. Okay,
inactive. Yeah.
I don't.
Kalen Ballage is officially inactive as well.
I don't really know that that's too big of a surprise. I kind of feel like a lot of those Julio's going to test it out turn into Julio's not going to play.
Yeah, did you have Eckler in the top 12?
I did not. He is
active today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Why is David Montgomery on any list ever, DJ?
Green Bay.
Yeah, I guess they can't stop the run. That's a good case.
Yeah. All right.
Let's hit these final 12 and then we'll go to commercial. So,
yep. So, Benny Snell, that high, really?
What'd you say, Chris?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Doug.
No, I was just curious as to why Benny Snell was that high. I guess James Conner is out.
Yeah. Another name to watch if you're willing to trust that Baltimore is actually going to play. Is Anthony McFarland if you're really desperate. I've been high on him for a few weeks, and he's a guy who I expect to see a lot of carries going forward into next year too. So, Chris, if he's a free agent on your dynasty, maybe give him a chance.
I'll give him a chance because right now I'm starting James White, and I don't like myself.
Oh, you should. I was about to say. I'll speak up for James White right now.
I love James White. He's been bad this year, though.
Burkhead's not playing, and he tore his ACL, so you're going to see White get a lot of those Burkhead touches.
In the 3 games that White, which also coincided with Burkhead being out, in the 3 games White's seen 50% or more of snaps, he's been an RB2 or better. It was like the RB24 or RB21, RB15, and RB9 in PPR formats. So
we're also not that far removed from a James White RB1 season.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
He's been on my team that whole time. It's just this year I can't start him.
I think you can this way. I mean, Arizona's a good matchup for
I think you start James White this week, Chris.
Yeah. I have to because my other running backs are Gurley and DeAndre Swift, and then I've also got Ballage. So yeah, I'm starting James White.
All right, the producer's looking at his watch. Let's go to commercial.
Tick tick. So, located in the Belgian neighborhood of 7th Street in Moline, Clint's Drafthouse Pizza and Grill is home to some of the Quad City's best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint's is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing in those out-of-market games? You'll never miss a second of the action on one of their 10 screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish your football watching experience off with one of their famous Quad City-style pizzas. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC-style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint's part of your Sunday football routine. Drafthouse Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline. Who doesn't need a solid handcuff on their fantasy squad? Grab a bite to eat at Clint's Drafthouse while watching the noon games, then head on over across the Moline Rock Island border to the corner tap for some libations during the 3 o'clock games. Every Sunday is fun day at the corner with $3 tall boys, Bloody Marys, Jack Daniels, and $2 PBR drafts. Head to the corner tap, 4018 14th Avenue, Rock Island, and get into the end zone. Rock River Fitness, located at 3416 Blackhawk Road in Rock Island, offers a wide variety of classes starting as low as just $8 per class and just $10 for specialty classes. With classes that include different yoga, Zumba, cardio, fusion, and strength training, Rock River Fitness has a little something for everyone and at a crazy affordable rate. Find them on Facebook, the MindBody app, or visit their website, rockriverfitness.com, and start planning your next fitness class. Rock River Fitness, where fitness is fun. Okay. Donald.
Sir.
Wide receiver ranks, por favor. Okay. No.
Okay, so did anybody watch Monday night's game where Cooper Kupp absolutely torched Tampa Bay out of the slot? Because that's where Tyreek Hill is going to be playing today.
Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in the NFL now, and that is coming from a Bears fan.
You say that until tomorrow when Tyler Lockett catches a touchdown because Philly decides not to cover him, and you text us all tight or wide receiver 1.
I can still think that Tyler
call,
Lockett is my wide receiver 1 and still think that Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Fuller and Jalen Johnson have done a great job of taking people away this year. The only exception really has been Adam Thielen, and he had to have a one-handed touchdown grab to make that a good performance. So I get it.
I'm a little bit sorry.
I was very high. No, go ahead. I told you I was just high on the Chiefs, per usual.
I'm trying to decide on what to do with Allen Robinson here because I have a league right now where I have Austin Eckler coming off the bye off the shelf, and I got Allen Robinson in my flex right now. And normally that's a great decision to make, but Allen Robinson with Green Bay and Jair Alexander, I can't take him out of my lineup, but I'm really worried about what that's going to be. And I am such an Allen Robinson fan; he's elite in my eyes, but I don't know. Jair Alexander has been the best cornerback in the league when he's been on the field.
Well, Mitch is playing, right? He's starting?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mitch's blankie is Allen Robinson.
Yes.
Anytime Mitch gets into trouble, he's going to look for Allen Robinson. And as good as Jair Alexander is, the volume, I think, is going to get you what you need.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep him in. I like him too much.
Who's your other option then?
Well, I have Austin Eckler, who just came off the IR. I've been stashing him for like 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
Tough.
Ridley Evans, Jefferson. Jefferson should be higher.
Parker's going to have a huge week with Fitz against that team.
Yeah, agreed.
It's one of my favorite defense players.
Robbie Anderson is one that really, I don't think he's got the credit he deserves for the season he's put up because he's been ridiculously good all year. And I know that DJ Moore is one of the better wide receivers in the league, but this year Robbie Anderson's been better than him most of the time. So I think that really just says a lot about Robbie Anderson as a whole.
You say that, and DJ Moore's quietly number 4 in the league and yards, which is insane.
Yeah,
it's just pure efficiency. Like,
I know. Yeah, that's why I say it's quiet. Like, it's one of those, like that basketball player who scores 40 points every game in high school that you just don't realize.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie, it's been such a weird ride. Like, we all thought he was going to be a great best ball type of a guy. You're going to get going to have your weeks. You're going to have your down weeks. But he's been one of the, if not the most steady receiver in fantasy football.
Yeah,
like he's seeing
because it's the first time in his career he's had a quarterback.
Yeah, and it's just scheming. They're having him go underneath. It's like slant routes, some drags, and you're expecting he's just running deep, but that's not him. And I can't wait for Matt Rule next season. I think they're really building something there, Carolina.
So, Michael, you're a Steelers guy. What do you think of DJ's Steelers rankings a little bit here?
Yeah, I just don't think the game's going to happen. So I kind of refrain from talking on it. But, like,
Right.
I mean, you got to line up Chase Claypool. He's just been so good. But he's going to see a lot of Marlon Humphreys. And Juju has been on-off this season. He's coming off that toe injury. The extra time will definitely help him. I mean, I don't think the game happens. But I'm currently benching Juju when I have a chance. Like, I played Brandon Cooks on Thursday over Juju this week, but I mean, you line them up there. They've gotten you there. They've done their work to get you there. So if they're kind of matchup proof in my eyes, outside of Juju, if you have a better option.
Who do you think sees Humphreys?
I think Chase does. I think he's just Humphreys is a long, lanky corner. I don't think they have anyone else. I mean, unless they can't put Jimmy Smith on him. Jimmy Smith is too slow.
Which means Deontay Johnson sees Peters.
Yeah, that's what I would expect. Yeah. I mean, it could be interchangeable, honestly. I really wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah. I'd be willing to throw Judy out of this top 36 now. Obviously, I did do these rankings earlier in the week, and Judy not in there anymore.
Well, you're willing to throw Judy out, but you've got DJ Chark up here at 27.
Yeah, and he's out. He will not play this week. So yeah, that's a recent. I even got DJ Chark as my picture, but yeah, no, that's a recent. Will not play this week.
I got a plea for Darius Slayton to be higher up here.
Well, obviously Darius Slayton's number 34 now.
34.
We just threw out a couple guys.
This is Cincinnati that was playing John Ross at cornerback like last week until he got hurt, and I don't know. I think this is a potential, like, I don't think Cincinnati's going to give a lot of good field position. I think Darius Slayton could be that real beneficiary of it.
John Ross got injured. Alshon Jeffrey is shocked by that.
And now he's hurt again from the shock.
The shock got him.
Anybody care to guess who's at the top of the next page?
Chiefs wide receiver?
It'll be a different position.
Oh, okay.
Still Chiefs wide receiver.
Best tight end in the league.
Yep, at number 2 right there.
Good old Nick Yasecki. Love Nick.
I did it again.
Come on, man.
I did it again.
His brother, he's just too talented. DJ is so excited about Mick.
I don't want to talk about Mike Yasecki, so I'm glad we're talking about Mick.
I did it again. Oops, I did it again.
Dude's burned me one too many times this year.
Why are you trusting Gronk, DJ?
Another situation where the Chiefs coverage not great, and I'm not sure. So when he was in New England, it would be Eric Berry who they put on him, and were able to take him away. And I don't think Tyrann Mathieu possesses those skills, and so I just don't know who the Chiefs are really even going to defend Gronk with.
Well, hold up. As the resident IDP guy, you're saying Tyrann Mathieu doesn't have the same skills as Eric Berry?
Correct.
You are drunk.
Not when it comes to coverage, he doesn't.
Eric Berry was so good, man. He was really talented. But Matthew's I think he could cover Gronk at this stage of his career.
The big difference is that you need Mathieu to do so many other things than you needed Berry to do. And part of the reason the Chiefs have been so limited defensively this year is because Matthew's not been playing very well. And so I think that you kind of get him into a new little tune to where he can do some different things. And I don't think putting him on Gronk is that thing. So I see a lot of defensive end coverage on Gronk. So this could set up to where Gronk could be the tight end one this week. I don't think he will, but he could be.
I mean,
and this is
I like Berry more as a physical guy who can mix it up with people, but I think Tyrann Mathieu is more of an athlete who can do everything. So that's the biggest difference. And so if you're right, if they're going to chip on Gronk coming off the line and not give him a clean release, then that's going to help out Mathieu try to beat him to a spot.
Yeah. I know that I have him number one at tight end every single week, but this is another thing with the slot coverage for Tampa Bay. When Tyreek's not in the slot, it's going to be Travis Kelce. So,
are you still comfortable with Noah Fant at 10? You'd still play him over Gesicki and Keanu?
I would bounce him down. Obviously,
okay.
with the late Saturday announcement, I could only. I don't have somebody who makes a lot of money to make my graphics. So.
Oh yeah, no, I was just wondering if he would still slot in as a tight end one or not.
If anybody wants to apply for that, though, send me an email. Yeah, as you can see, we're even limited on that second 12 because Mark Andrews came out and a couple other guys came off the board. Irv Smith Jr., another guy who came.
I got a question for you. I have, I think it's Tyler Higbee in one of my leagues. I picked up the Eagles tight end.
Goddard?
Yeah, no, the one that's injured.
Oh, Ertz?
Yeah, am I an idiot for getting Ertz since he's close to being back?
Yeah, no, I would, because you would play him over Higbee if he's healthy.
So is he close to being back, or what's the status?
I think he's supposed to be back week 14. So if you're going to be in the playoffs, then you've got a shot.
Okay, I'll give it a run.
I got to make a case for Jordan Reed here, and I'm a little bit worried because he's questionable with the illness. He didn't practice, but it's an illness, non-COVID related, so he could just be on the field. But Jordan Reed he ran a lot of routes in that last, on his first week back, he split with Dwelly, but that next week, 6 targets, 5 catches on 40% of snaps. So I think if that number jumps even to 50 to 60, and he's running routes on all those, because Jordan Reed's not blocking. I think there's a real blow-up opportunity there, especially against the Rams, which have been stout against everything other than the tight end.
Right.
I think Jordan Reed's a smash player this week. I got to handcuff him with Dwelly, but
I think you might see Jimmy Graham or Jordan Reed bounce into that tight end one conversation with taking Fant out. Not the tight end one, but obviously top 12 tight end option.
Why are you fading Robert Tonyan so much?
The targets have kind of dwindled a little bit with the receivers back healthy. So as MVS stepped up, Lazard came out the IR. You're seeing a lot more targets for Sternberger as well. So I don't know that you see those big games that Tonyan was having early on.
All right, so that will take us to the end of that segment. From here, then, we will, on the other side of this, we will talk the Sunday night game of Bears-Pack. And then on the other side of that, we'll take a look at the inactives. DJ, this is your early warning to put together a trivia question this week. We will always take your questions. Make sure that you are getting those in on the Facebook, in the chat, on the Twitters, or if you want to email us, you can certainly do that as well.
Nobody's ever emailed us.
5 raffle entries if you email us.
If somebody emails us, Nate will propose to his girlfriend. Oh, wait, he's on the show.
We've
already tried that.
Here's the thing. Have we ever given the email address? That might be what's handicapping people from sending us an email.
We actually have. We've given the wrong email address. We've given the right email address.
For fantasy
on the website
at gmail.com. But it is on the website. You can just push a button. So go to the website, forfantasysakeqc.com.
Yes. All right, here we go. Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. With nearly 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all your home improvement projects. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715. Hate mowing? We know Deej does. Need your lawn or business landscaped? Need your grass aerated or fertilized before the ground freezes? A little late for that. Need anything else yard related? Yard Barbers LLC is your hookup. And they are just good for your summertime yard blues. They work all year long, and you can get signed up for winter services for that annoying-to-do snow removal. Find Yard Barbers on Facebook at Yard Barbers LLC and send them an email at yardbarbersqc@gmail.com or shoot them a text at 309-235-1595. And there we go. Jordan Rangel, who's already setting records with entries anyway, has sent us in an email to get his 5 entries.
Hey, Michael, check out the text message I just sent you. In one of my groups, I saw this autographed picture of James Harrison.
James Harrison has put me on such a roller coaster of emotions because I grew up loving him so much, and then the Steelers did him dirty, which took me a year to accept. But then he went to the Patriots, which really hurt me, but I'm back on loving James Harrison as a legend, so thank you for that picture. That's great. He's great.
All right. So, Bears, Packers, oldest rivalry in the NFL, Sunday Night Football, all the Al Michaels. Actually, I don't even think it's Al Michaels this week. I think it's actually Mike Tirico doing the call because of the holiday week. So I actually think it is Mike Tirico and Tony Dungy on the call this week.
That'll be fun.
Yeah,
so it's the Notre Dame crew.
Yeah, it's the Notre Dame crew because there's no Notre Dame game this week, and then Al and Chris are done double or something.
They originally pushed. They originally made the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game was going to be today at 12:05 or 12:15 our time, and so I believe that Michaels and Collinsworth were going to be on that game.
Yeah, they were supposed to have that on Thursday night when it was the Thursday night game.
Right, and then
that's why they
Then they were going to have it when it was a 12:15 game today, and now you guys get a B squad for B squad quality game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize they were doing the Chiefs game. All right, so the Truth Biscuit is back at the controls. He is. What do we expect to see? He's had 4 or 5 weeks off. Had an injury, recuperated from that. He's had a chance to watch Foles from the sidelines, think about kind of different things. What do we expect out of him tonight?
I want to see I don't give a dunk Mitch come out there and just go nuts, because I think Mitch Trubisky's biggest problem is don't screw up. And every time he gets out there on the field, he's essentially playing don't screw up ball. And I want to see him out and just play really loose and play as fast as he's capable of. And I think when they do the hurry up, that helps him out a ton because he doesn't have to think about as much. There's not as much thinking. He's backyard football at its finest. So I think that if you just make it about trying to maximize his abilities, that he can do well here, I still don't like their chances in this game.
Okay, that's fair. I think if they put him in some type of hurry up situation or no huddle situation, because we know second quarter Mitch and fourth quarter Mitch are different players than first and third quarter Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they do put him in some type of no huddle, sugar huddle kind of situation, then that does bode well for him. Now we'll see if Bill Lazor's smart enough to figure that out. And then we'll see, obviously, like we mentioned in the wide receiver rankings, why is my camera not finding me? There I am. He's going to lean on Allen Robinson. He's probably going to lean on Jimmy Graham. Now it comes down to the running game. And if David Montgomery is back, the splits between Montgomery and Patterson. And then for what will be really critical for Mitch, I think, I know I'm talking in circles, but I think what's really critical for Mitch is how he performs on those off-schedule plays when he has to get out of the pocket when stuff breaks down. Can he find his guy and execute on third downs?
No. He can't block anything up. They can't block anything up. They can't run the football at all. It's been a problem since maybe week 3 or 4 that they just cannot run the football at all. There's no run game, and it doesn't matter who's back there. I thought it was on Montgomery for a while, but it seems like it's no matter who it is. There's no running game whatsoever. It doesn't matter who's calling the game. And they're terrified to run a hurry up or run a sugar huddle, whatever you want to call it. They're terrified of that because they think the defense is just going to be back out on the field faster, when the defense is out on the field fast enough when they go 3 and out every time.
And if you can't run the ball, you can't beat the Packers. So I think that has to be what the Bears try to establish. But like you said, Chris, I mean, they haven't been able to run it all year. And I mean, it's a great matchup. So I think you still have to line up Montgomery out there. I don't see a world like you can't, because I think he's going to easily outcarry Cordell Patterson. I think he's going to get every chance to succeed against that Green Bay run defense. And I don't know if he will. I think he could be a safe RB2 just based on volume, but he has that. The Bears offense limits him. Like, this matchup should say he has RB1 potential, but I really don't think he does.
Mm-hmm. The fact that he's been so good, kind of more as a third down back than like as a back that he was brought in to be to just knock people over and get those extra couple of yards off of every carry. It really shows how this offense has failed in a big way, because if you're getting him the ball out in space, he's able to do something with it. They can't create space with their blocking scheme up front. I know that they've been killed by injury. They lost James Daniels, who may be their best interior lineman, but they've had guys start to come back a little bit here the last couple of weeks from COVID and other things, and it still looks worse every week. There's no reason it should look worse. It keeps getting worse.
Flip side, then, let's talk Rodgers versus that Bears D. What do you expect out of Rodgers today? Do you think that the Bears defense has enough gas to slow him down, to keep the game within reach, so that something this is the Bears game plan. Keep the game within reach so that something crazy can happen in the fourth quarter that the Bears might be able to pull off a late game field goal.
That's about it. That's all you can really hope for at this point, because already this year we've had in the Rams game, the Rams outscored the Bears defense outscored the Bears offense. And so then the week before the bye, the Bears special teams outscores the Bears offense, and the other team outscores the Bears offense. So it's frustrating. I've checked out at this point. There's no reason to continue to care about this team until they tell you otherwise.
I still can't believe they were 5-0. I can't. This has been just such.
Hey,
I mean, I can't imagine being a Bears fan and feeling that. But
they haven't even been under 500 yet this year, right?
No, they're 5-5 right now.
Yeah, so I mean, they're staring down the barrel at that. Maybe that motivates them to actually get something together. I think even Bears fans felt that it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of circumstances, because every game you were like, we should have lost that game.
Yeah,
every single one, and that's no way to be a winning team.
Yeah, that's when they were writing articles saying, "Is this the worst 5-0 team of all time?"
Yes.
I mean, that's why they switched to Foles. I mean, they were 5-0, and you don't normally make a QB switch after that. That speaks to how bad the Bears' offense was, and they should have stuck with Mitch. When you're winning, you just got to stick with the guy. I mean, Tua will prove me wrong, but Nick Foles is not Tua Tagovailoa. So it's one day, maybe. One day the Bears will have a quarterback again.
Yes.
That makes me sad.
If by some miracle of the football gods, Chicago wins tonight, they would only be one game back in the Central, with a win over Green Bay in hand, in Green Bay. So, I mean, as bad as they have been and as bad as they have looked, that's a decent position to be in Week 12.
Well, what was the one John Fox game where it was like around this time of year? I think it was either on Thanksgiving Day or it was like a couple days after. So might have been the Sunday game that the Bears just came in and they thrashed Green Bay, and there was like no reason for it. That team was terrible, and they just absolutely dominated them for like an entire day, and it didn't make any sense. And so, I mean, there have been the weird games where the Bears just get Green Bay for some reason. I know Green Bay has really dominated the series here in the last 2 decades, but there's the weird games where you go in thinking the Bears are going to get it, and they manage to sneak one out. Like, I think the other one was the one where they break Rodgers' collarbone. So you need something odd to happen in this game that tilts it in a way that you can take advantage of it. And I don't know how they take advantage of it because they can't move the football.
Yeah. This is if they're winning this game, there is going to be a kick return for a touchdown and or a Rodgers pick six,
blocked field goal.
It's all the funky stuff has to come into play for them to win this game. They are not winning it straight, 20-17, trading, marching up and down the field and trading punts and all that, and all the standard football. Special teams and or defensive plays have to be made in order for a Bears win to come out of this.
And how sad and familiar is that for Bears fans to be banking on something has to be weird to happen, or we need a special team score to win a game? That's just ridiculous. And the fact that we continue to do this over and over again just shows you the failings of the people in charge of this organization, that they don't understand how this football team works or what modern football looks like at this point.
Yeah, well, it's the Devin Hester syndrome. When your best player is the kick returner or the punter, that's a problem.
Well, let's talk about happier things. Is Devin Hester a Hall of Famer for you, Doug?
Really?
Yes.
Hesitation.
As a Deej, if you're going to talk smack, come back onto the show. I would say yes. If the Hall of Fame had better designations, if they had designations for returner, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I think Steve Tasker as a special teamer should be a Hall of Famer. But until those positions are thought of as Hall of Fame worthy, they're not going to be. All right, so that will take us to the end of this segment. On the other side of this, we will talk inactives. We will have Michael talk a little DFS. Still have time to get those questions in. Deej might actually come back onto the show instead of talking smack from off stage. But yeah, maybe not. I kind of like him back there. The ghost of Deej. I like that. I prefer that. Okay, so let's go to commercial, and then we'll get this on the other side. Football season is about 2/3 of the way done, and if you've spent Sundays watching football anywhere but Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, you've been doing it wrong. Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport, is the best place to catch all your favorite games, and there's still time to make it part of your Sunday routine. Start your meal off with their famous McGuire's Original Nachos or Bready Nuggets, then ask about one of their original QC-style pizzas, or be your own quarterback and call an audible and create your own. The Vans crew will be sure your play call hits pay dirt every time. Vans Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport. Come get served. Located in the Belgian neighborhood of 7th Street in Moline, Clint's Drafthouse Pizza and Grill is home to some of the Quad City's best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint's is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing in those out-of-market games? You'll never miss a section of the action on one of their 10 screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish your football watching experience off with one of their famous Quad City-style pizzas. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC-style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint's part of your Sunday football routine. Clint's Drafthouse Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline. Yay. All right. So, Deej, you're live.
I am, fortunately.
All right. So, got a trivia question for us?
Yep.
Is Randy Moss?
Yep. Oh, the answer might be Randy Moss. You never know. It was last week.
He tricked us, Doug.
I know.
I did it on purpose, too.
I feel abused.
The first nationally televised NFL football game was played on this date in 1934. Who were the participants and what was the final score? Randy Moss wasn't alive.
It's still Randy Moss. All right.
It was.
Bye, Doug. All right. So I guess with our inactives in Las Vegas and Atlanta, Hayden Hurst, who was questionable, he is in. Out are Todd Gurley, Jalen Richard, and Julio Jones. In Chargers Buffalo, in Austin Eckler. Out Kalen Ballage and John Brown. Now, I saw a stat that's interesting earlier this week that in the games where Josh Allen's kind of struggled has also been the games where John Brown hasn't played. So that'll be something interesting to keep an eye out for. So I like I said, keep an eye out. Josh Allen might not have the game that we expect. Giant Cincinnati, Gio Bernard will play. He was questionable. I expect a lot more of Samaje Perine though, with Bernard being limited at practice because of the concussion. Tennessee and Indy, Jonathan Taylor out for COVID. Center Ryan Kelly also will not play. Cleveland, Jacksonville, no DJ Chark, Chris Conley, or Gardner Minshew for the Jags, and Cleveland will be without safety Denzel Ward. For Carolina, Minnesota, Teddy Bridgewater will actually play this week instead of not playing. Also, Russell Okung will be back. Out will be Christian McCaffrey and Irv Smith Jr. Arizona, New England, N'Keal Harry will be in. He was questionable. Out Larry Fitzgerald, who has a COVID, and Rex Burkhead, who is out for the season with the torn ACL. In Miami and the Jets, Sam Darnold will be back. I saw also Adam Gase will go back to being the play caller. Out will be Salvon Ahmed, Myles Gaskin, and Tua Tagovailoa. I expect Matt Breida will probably get the majority of the carries for the Dolphins, but there'll be some other guys mixing in, I'm sure. And then the 49ers and the Rams, the 49ers will get back Raheem Mostert and Richard Sherman, but they will be without Tevin Coleman and Brandon Ayuk. So that's it for what we have. I see two guesses for the Dodgers and the Eagles. 23-14. That is not the answer that I have. So keep guessing, guys. Google was not your friend here. So let's talk a little bit of DFS now that we have Michael here. So, Michael, who you got this week?
Yeah, so some of my favorite guys that we kind of mentioned already, but Devontae Parker against that Jets defense. I mean, the biggest thing here is that Ryan Fitzpatrick's calling the shots. And Ryan Fitzpatrick loves to throw Devontae Parker. And with Preston Williams sideline, with a hodgepodge of tight end I'm not willing to gamble on, and not even really Devontae Parker seems like the best play out of my lineups this week. Someone I'm slotting in everywhere. Tyreek Hill's a name I like to pay up for the reason that DJ listed before, sliding him into the slot, moving around wherever. Saw a season high of targets with 11 last week. Nice little dart throw that I have tilted and changed all of my DFS lineups this week to include Malcolm Perry out of Miami saw a career high 79% of snaps last week. He had 5 targets, caught 3 of them. He saw 22% of Ryan Fitzpatrick's throws when he came in. And I think no Preston Williams. There's a real shot that Malcolm Perry is a big-time piece of this offense. He's also could see some carries out of the backfield. I mean, we see Noah Salvon Ahmed, We see Myles Gaskin still on the shelf. The team has not yet to show any trust in Matt Breida, and we know what Patrick Laird is. Malcolm Perry, I mean, for 4,000, it's the bare minimum for running back, and
Is he running back eligible?
He's only running back eligible on DraftKings, which is a little bit annoying. I want to slide him in as a wide receiver since he hasn't seen a carry this, or he's seen 2 carries this season. He's seen like 10 targets, but
yeah, I know ESPN has him only wide receiver eligible.
Yeah, sleeper, I could play him at quarterback, running back, or wide receiver. I'm not really sure. I mean, he's a converted player. Yeah, he's a converted player. I mean, I'm not going to line him up at quarterback anyway. But, I mean, that's someone – he's on the rise. 79%. He jumped from – he was injured all season, then 14%, 36, 39. And then last week jumped to 79. That's significant. It's against the Jets. Ryan Fitzpatrick targeted him a lot last week in his limited time. I'm playing him in there. I wish I was able to get in my article the other day, but I did not.
So he's probably a slot guy. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. He's going to be. He's base. Yeah, I mean he's a Swiss Army knife. They move him all around. He'll be in the backfield and motion out wide. He'll work in the slot. I originally had Gabriel Davis here, and since he's become kind of a Twitter love over the last 24 hours since John Brown got IR'd, I was hoping he was just going to be inactive, but as soon as John Brown got IR'd, everyone was like, we love Gabriel Davis now. So he's going to be too owned for my liking. So I tilted. I'm going to put Malcolm Perry in instead and move around my flex options. But yeah, I think he's a really low-key play that I definitely want to line up this week.
Well, the good news is with Michael playing Malcolm Perry is you don't have to worry about finishing last this week because Michael's going to take care of that again this week.
I'm sure I will, but I'm also sure I won't because I guarantee you my other lineup was going to be infinitely better with this before I started tinkering.
We do still have to cut you off for a second. We do still have 4 entries left in the DraftKings contest, so invite your peeps.
Well, and Malcolm Perry, I think, is an interesting move because you got to look at what Ryan Fitzpatrick has at his disposal. Like in terms of skill set, he's not a big arm quarterback. He's going to work the slot, and that's what a lot of guys do. When we saw Case Keenum have that breakout year as a backup quarterback for the Vikings, it was the slot guy and Adam Thielen who was a big beneficiary of that. So you look at what a quarterback has the ability to do. Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't lighting anybody up going downfield. He's going to dink and dunk and get you where he can get you, and that's how he's going to beat you. So I think that makes a ton of sense to start somebody who's going to be a slot wide receiver who's going to have bad matchups against linebackers and nickel corners.
Yeah, and it's just I feel bad having 2 Dolphins in my DFS lineup, especially when I'm not playing Ryan Fitzpatrick right now. I'm playing Justin Herbert. But I can't ignore the volume that Devontae Parker gets, and I can't ignore the upside that Malcolm Perry has relative to his price and what will inevitably be an incredibly low ownership.
So are you a bring it back guy? Are you bringing your lineup back with somebody from the Jets?
I'm not playing a single Jet this week. I think that Dolphins defense I think they were embarrassed last week, and I think they're going to come back with a vengeance this week. I think Brian Flores is a great coach. He's not going to get outcoached by Adam Gase, who's taking over play calling again, by the way. It won't affect the defense, but just a little fun fact there. I'm just not touching it. I think you could play Crowder this week. It's so uninspiring. I would take a shot on Rashad Perriman since he's been connecting with Joe Flacco, but Joe Flacco's not under center anymore. Sam Darnold can't throw deep. He'll look to Jameson Crowder, who will be a fine start, but I'm not gonna pay for him.
Okay.
All right. Do you think Adam Gase sees all these other coaches get fired and just laughs to himself? Like, it seems like he's going out of his way to try and get fired, and they just quit.
Gase is there to lose, and he's doing an excellent job of it. So they're fine keeping him around until January comes. They're going to boot him to the curb, so then he could go coach Detroit.
Adam Gase has to take over for somebody who just drafted a quarterback who looks like they're probably not going to be good, because that's his like entire career at this point. Because he goes to Miami and he gets Ryan Tannehill, And then he goes to the Jets after that, and he gets ghosts. So
I don't even know. Send him to Jacksonville with whoever they draft and just ruin the entire franchise. Just, man.
that's about right.
Hey, did we get a dart throw? Was
Yeah,
that-
he worked it in. He didn't actually do the physical dart throw, though.
Malcolm Perry.
Whoa!
Hey!
That's really close.
Malcolm Perry. I will slot him as my deep dart throw this week in DFS.
Yeah,
For
that was a
fantasy sake,
10-2.
takes no responsibility of any accidents happening in the home or if Michael breaks the window. We are not
Oh,
paying
thanks,
for
Weasel.
Dad's frame again.
No, never. Couldn't do that.
All right. That'll take us to the end of this segment. This is your last opportunity to get your questions in, so please make sure. DJ might even have a trivia answer on the other side of that once he's actually found the trivia answer, because at this rate, I don't even know if he has it yet or not.
I have the trivia answer. We have not received the trivia correct answer yet.
Okay.
So I'll ask it one more time. This date, 1934, was the first national broadcast of a game. Who played and what was the final score?
Okay, there you go.
And let's pay the bills with Yabba Dabbas real quick.
We are no longer a PG show, but we're still saying frick for fantasy's sake. Frick's Tap, that is. If the Davenport side is more your style for your football watching pleasure, head to Frick's Tap, 1402 West 3rd Street, where they have 20 beers on tap. Beer isn't your scene? That's okay. They have $3 you call it's during all of the Sunday football games. Frick's is the NFL Sunday ticket on all 13 of their TV screens, so don't fret if your team is playing on the West Coast this week. So for Frick's sake, head to Frick's Tap today. It's Sunday, the best day of the week here at For Fantasy's Sake. You know what goes well with a football Sunday? A pulled pork Sunday from the Big Cheese, the official food truck of For Fantasy's Sake. If you're into our Wednesday evening show, or Tuesday this past week, short yardage, you might want something lighter as a bedtime snack. So try out their grilled cheese, which is just $5, and add a slice of ham for another $1 if you're feeling frisky. They travel all throughout the Quad Cities with their menu perfect for lunchtime or dinner time, so give them a follow on Facebook to see where they might be next and try their hamburgers, where you can make it a single, a double, or a triple for $5, $7, or $9. The Big Cheese, bringing you short yardage every Wednesday night. All right. Let's get after it. So, from the top, Travis Spreet wants to know, Jordan Wilkins or CEH against NFL top run D?
All right, CEH for me.
Homer.
Yeah, I think you're overthinking it if you like Jordan Wilkins. We all love to see it in that good matchup with no Jonathan Taylor, but CH got you there. He's performed well in the last few weeks. I'm going to stick with him.
I'll stick with that, even though I don't like sticking with DJ's Chiefs.
Same. All right. Cousin Bo wants to know, Kirk Cousins or Baker Mayfield?
Baker.
I like what Cousins is doing this year.
No Adam Thielen. I'll take Baker.
Yeah, Baker's got the Jags this week. I'm taking Baker. How confident should I be that the Steelers' defense special teams will play?
Not.
I would say Michael says no.
No, it's not happening. No way. They're still having positive cases as of yesterday, and I'm sure there's going to be some coach that tests positive today or something.
0 to 100% is this game played.
15?
I was going to say 14, so.
Yeah, they're only because they're so adamant to have it happen because they don't want to push it to a week 18.
See, I would say I'm about 25% sure this will be played.
Either way, I think that means you scoop a different defense and you play it right now.
I agree.
I think they're going to force it. I think it's like 80% this game happens.
Yeah, they are putting out through their media mouthpieces how it's great that the NFL hasn't had to cancel a game in 12 weeks. So we'll see. So that tells me that they want to push it. I don't think in good conscience they should, but it sounds like the NFL and Roger Goodell is going to. It's going to take the entire team getting it for them not to.
See, and the weird thing is I don't. It's a PR thing. Being able to say you didn't have to cancel a game, because if they do, they get 2 more playoff games out of it. And I'm all for that, because I don't think the Steelers and their cotton candy schedule should get a bye over the Chiefs.
Oh, stop it. Stop that now. I will leave this call.
DJ ran away the moment I suggested that running backs were better than Drew Lock, but he comes in strong with his.
Oh, that's unforgivable. That is unforgivable right there.
All right. In a TD heavy league, Deontay Johnson, Nelson Aguilar, Debo, or Benny Snell?
Aguilar. I'm not confident, like I said, with that game being played, so I would go Aguilar.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'd probably go with Benny Snell.
He's a Steeler.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know how it goes.
If the game is played, Johnson. If the game is not played, Debo. That's how I'll break that down.
You think Debo's going to get in the end zone?
Aguilar is not playing the Chiefs this week, so he's not going to torch them.
He's playing Atlanta.
See,
I'll change that to I'll take that then. Yeah.
I'm assuming this is a lot like the dispatch league, where you start like getting points at like 50 yards or something like that. So, I mean, Debo could end up doing something like that too.
PPR pick 1, Deontay Johnson, Alshon, not going to play. Russell Gage, DeMarcus Olamide. Wait. Thank you. DeMarcus Robinson, Olamide Zacchaeus, or Dallas Goedert. Somebody hadn't completed typing something yet.
No, I did. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe when I tabbed over. I don't know. I would probably go Goddard. If I thought that Steelers game 100% was going to play, I would start Johnson, but Goddard.
Yeah, I mean, Goddard gives you they play on Monday, right, as well? Yeah. Eagles play on Monday, so I would go Goddard, and then maybe we have some more information tomorrow about the Steelers game. You could tilt to Johnson. I assume there's a flex question. So I'd go Goddard and then switch to Johnson if new news comes out on Monday night.
Yeah, that's a good call.
You're
muted, Chris.
All right. Royce Freeman or James White?
James White. If I thought Royce Freeman was going to get 50% of any kind of snaps, I would say Royce Freeman, but James White.
James White's going to have a big week. That's all I'm going to say. I'm very excited for James White this week.
Okay.
All right. Jordan and his emailed questions. In a superflex, Brandon Allen or Big Ben with doubt over Tuesday?
Gross. I guess you have to look within yourself. And is Jalen Hurts a free agent? Would be my question. Because if he is, I'd pick him up and then play him Monday night if we don't know more about that game. But I think you have to look within yourself and your confidence in that game.
I like that call about Jalen Hurts taken. He just commented that Jalen Hurts is taken. So, man, it's basically, do you want 6 points or do you want to roll the dice with Big Ben?
So if Big Ben's in your super flex, go find somebody who David Moore, Greg Ward, Alshon Jeffrey, somebody who you could wait and have more information about Tuesday that you could throw in there. That would be my opinion. Put him in your flex, grab guy, put Big Ben in that super flex position, not your quarterback position, and grab a guy from Seattle or Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if they're on MFL, then it doesn't really matter.
Well, I'll say it. Alshon Jeffrey, and there we said his name 3 times throughout the course of the show. He is automatically injured and out for the next 6 weeks.
I thought that just meant that he appeared in your laundry room.
It's hard to appear behind me when he's injured.
All right, Antonio Brown or Lazard in the flex.
AB.
Antonio Brown, definitely.
I would go with that. I haven't seen enough of Lazard to actually be like he's back or anything like that.
Tough
All
matchup
right.
too.
Make it a clean sweep, so that means start Lazard. Mooney or Mims in the flex?
Mooney.
Mims.
What did Mooney look like with Trubisky at quarterback?
He had a couple big games, and not big games, but he had a couple solid games. There were 2 or 3 of the throws where it's like he beat a guy really badly and it's overthrown by 4 yards, kind of thing.
We just have more information about Mooney with Trubisky than we do Mims with Darnold because that doesn't exist. Darnold and Mims doesn't exist. So
I think Mims will be fine. I would just say Darnell Mooney, the last couple of weeks, teams have actually tried to take him away a little bit. And because they have started to notice that he makes a difference, and that leaves Anthony Miller more open, and Anthony Miller can't do anything about that. So,
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, Mims has been on the field for 89% last week, 96 before the bye. He's seen it was with Flacco, so credit, that take with a grain of salt. But he's seen 7 targets or more in 3 of his 4 starts. I'll line up, and that also coincides with James and Crowder missing time. But I'll line up Mims out there in a better matchup as well in Miami.
Dallas Goedert or Evan Ingram?
Goddard.
I'm good with Goddard.
Yeah, I'll go Goddard. I mean, the matchup's so nice for Evan Ingram, but I'll go Goddard.
I'll play contrarian and take Ingram. All right, Gio or Brian Hill?
Brian Hill. That's my dart throw.
DJ, I like Brian Hill too because, especially with Julio being out, the split between he and Gurley had been pretty 50-50 here recently, and so Hill's going to get some targets in the passing games too.
I'll go Brian Hill. Yeah.
Fine. I'll take Hill, make it a sweep, which means definitely it'll be Gio. All right, pick 2 of Hines, Bernard, Mostert, and Hill.
Hill and Hines.
I think I'm the same way. Although I'm surprised you're not taking Mostert, Deej.
But is the pick 2 do we get the ones down to the bottom as well, or is that a separate question?
That's a separate one.
Okay, gotcha. No, I would take Hines and Gio.
And I will take Mostert and Hines.
There, clear as mud.
Yep. And then, is this also a pick 2, Deej?
I think this is just a 1.
Just a 1? All right. Of Pittman, Fulgham, or Debo in the flex. I will take Jordan's recommendation. I'll take Pittman here.
Pittman.
Yep. Locking in Pittman. They finally figured out how to do it.
The other 2, you don't know what's going to happen with their quarterback.
All righty. That will take us to the rapid fire segment here. We go. Brian Hill, over under 55.5 rushing yards.
Over.
Yep.
Under.
Over. More fantasy points this week. Stephon Diggs or Keenan Allen? Diggs.
Allen.
Diggs.
More fantasy points. Wayne Gallman or Gio Bernard? Gio even with a hurdy head.
Gallman.
Top scoring quarterback this week. Kyler.
I'm going to go against DJ, Josh Allen.
I'll go against Chris and say Herbert.
Ooh. All right. More passing yards this week. Phillip Rivers or Ryan Tannehill?
Tannehill.
Rivers. All right. Top rusher in Cleveland, Jacksonville. That is my boy Chubb.
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 I'm going to go Robinson.
Dalvin Cook over under 112 and a half rushing yards.
Under.
That feels high. I'm going to go under.
That's a lot of damn yards. Under.
I'll take over. I'm going to find a way to get him in my DFS lineup right now.
More rushing yards, Kyler or Cam. That's Kyler.
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 More passing yards, Darnold or Fitzpatrick.
Fitz.
I'll go Darnold.
Sam Darnold will have one game in his career.
Give me Fitzmagic there. All right. Top scoring running back.
Dalvin.
Oh, I just figured out they're going head-to-head. No, I don't want Sam Darnold against the Dolphins defense because they're good.
Yeah.
I'll change that around. Okay. Top scoring running back, is that what we're after?
See.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Josh Jacobs.
I'll stick Dalvin. Yeah, it's such a good matchup.
Not a bad one. I'll say Mike Davis breaks the record of me not liking him and is actually good this week.
Yeah, Deej, we know CEH. All right.
I said Dalvin.
Oh, okay. Where am I? Okay. Kendall Hinton. Kendall, don't call me Paris Hilton Hinton. Over under 75 passing yards. I think that's the lowest over under passing I've ever seen.
I'll still take the under.
I think I will too.
I'll go over. I'll give him a
I
shot.
would go over. Something dumb will happen. In one play, you get like
We're not
30.
We're still not talking about a guy who's never played quarterback. So
Well, not at the NFL level.
you're right. Hey, you're right.
More rushing yards, Melvin or Taysom Hill?
Taysom.
Yeah.
Taysom, yeah.
Top scoring wide receiver this week.
Tyreek.
Lockett.
Keenan Allen. Which goes against my Diggs thing earlier.
I'll go bold. I'm going to say Devontae Parker. That fits connection.
Nice.
I had a feeling you were going to say Devontae Parker in my head.
I'm all about Devontae Parker this week.
That is bold. All right.
Doesn't feel good.
Barbecue sauce bold.
Cooper Kupp over under 15.4 PPR points. That's under.
Under wheel of Rams wide receivers.
I'll go with over.
I'll take the under.
All right. Top scoring pass catcher. Really? Top scoring pass catcher in Tampa Bay, Kansas City. Mike Evans.
Tyreek. What did you say really for? I don't understand.
Tyreek.
How many Chiefs questions have been in this?
Travis Kelce. We got to figure out a bad boy penalty for DJ every time he brings up the Chiefs.
Just because I have that's been one. Just because I answered Mahomes and Hill doesn't make him Chiefs question.
Well, and here are my rankings, guys. They got a Chief on top, and then they got a Chief at number 2 and a Chief at number 3.
And then we got a Chief at number 6. All right. More fantasy points. Devontae, MVS, or Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney. And as much as it breaks my heart to say this, Packers.
Well, Adams, right?
Yeah. Adams
Just
and
Adams.
MVS versus Robinson and Darnell Mooney.
We should get a third one in there if it's the Bears, though. We should.
All right,
get,
we'll throw David Montgomery in there.
Let's go with Montgomery catches too, because they're going to need those.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
All right. Top scoring tight end.
Travis Kelce.
Oh, shocker. Waller.
Yeah, Waller.
I'll go Waller. Yeah.
Better quarterback in Philly. Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, Greg Ward.
Oh, I'm so glad you put Greg Ward there. I was going to say that.
Jalen Hurts.
would take Greg Ward.
Hurts
gonna
has
say
a road to go.
I'm going Greg Ward.
I'll stick with Wentz. I think he's just getting a bad rap.
Yeah, sucker. All right, more rushing yards. If the game is played, more rushing yards. Benny Snell or Gus Edwards? Get on the bus, baby.
Gus Bus.
Benny Snell deserves more opportunity.
All right, which starting quarterback scores more? Mike Glennon, Brandon Allen, Kendall Hinton, Nick Mullins, or RG3? That is RG3 all day.
Brandon Allen.
I'm going to say Kendall Hinton and just hope he runs like 20 times.
Nick Mullins always has one game a year where you're like, Nick Mullins might be an NFL quarterback. So maybe that's this week, because the rest of the time you're like, oh man, they have Nick Mullins.
Yeah, realistically, I'm going to switch. I'd play Mullins over him.
All right, and then the last question is, how do you take your coffee? Mine looks like that.
Black.
A little sugar.
Mine is untouched water. Yay!
I used to not take sugar in it, and then when my wife had her stroke and my kids were fetching the coffee for me, they'd put sugar in it. I'm like, this is good. I'm like, what's in it? And they're like, sugar? And I'm like, oh, okay. So now I take it with sugar.
I couldn't imagine having just straight black. That stuff is it's fine. I could do it, but it's so much less enjoyable.
So, short story about me with coffee. In April of 2019, I started drinking coffee because I found out I was having a daughter, and I'm like, I definitely need coffee if I'm having a daughter. And it started with cream and ice to cool it down because I don't like hot liquid that much. Like, I don't even like soup. And then and then I got rid of the cream, and it was just ice, and then now it's just straight black coffee.
Natural progression.
Yeah.
I like
We
the
have 2
sugary
spots left in
creamers.
DraftKings, by the way. 2 spots.
And did anybody actually get the trivia question correct?
I don't know if DJ got the trivia question correct.
I don't either. People are just guessing all kinds of stuff, and now he's on the phone.
Sorry, it was important. Well, I thought maybe it could be important. Bo and Jordan both are going to get entries because they guessed it at the same time that it was Bears 19, Lions 16.
Okay.
Was that a Thanksgiving game?
It was a Thanksgiving game, first nationally broadcasted NFL game.
Okay, Thanksgiving Day. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, it was the AFL NFL mergers. They said that on the Lions broadcast that I saw all 30 seconds of because I was busy cooking. All right, that'll do it. Let's get that to the end of this round of shenanigans.
You're telling me you didn't watch the Texans absolutely dog walk the Lions in the deliciousness that was, where they're running trick plays to show them how stupid they are?
It was on in the living room, but I was in the kitchen.
Okay.
Hey guys, I just felt really much better about my rankings graphics because ESPN, who actually do pay people to make graphics, have Mark Andrews on there, and then says on COVID list, and then has Austin Eckler like 32 with a comment that says now in top 15. So I don't feel bad anymore.
DJ, do they have Mick Gilsecki on there?
They do have Mick Gilsecki on there.
You should still feel bad anyway.
Oh, DJ.
You're terrible.
All right, take it home, Doogie.
All righty. So
2 spots left in DraftKings. One of them's Chris. Chris, you better get in. I sent you the link.
I'm in every week.
I don't see your name in there, bro.
Well, I haven't set my lineup yet, but I'm in there.
No, you're not. Get in there.
Oh, boo.
So 1 spot left. Get you some. All right. So that will take us to the end of the week. We will see you next week in Critical Week 13 because that will be Win and You're In week if you need any of those. So that'll be a critical week for us. So for Michael, for Chris, for DJ, I am Doug. We will see y'all Wednesday night. Otherwise, we will see you Sunday.